Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for round 5 of TCR Trinity Competitive Racing Silver Class for Season 10. We're here at Silverstone International Circuit. We have 18 turns, 5.891 kilometers, 3.66 miles. It's a bit cloudy, but we're here excited. We're here in the commentary box. My name is 007 Professional. I am here with Chatty Duck, who I believe this is his first time to commentate for Silver Class this year, or this season. But welcome, Chatty Duck. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, 007. And yeah, this is my first time in Silver. I've done a couple of commentaries on Gold Class so far this season, but yeah, I'm excited to see how these guys do in Silver Class, especially at Silverstone, which is kind of my home Grand Prix, being British originally. So yeah. Looking forward to seeing what these guys can do.
Absolutely, yeah. It's good to have you in the commentary box for Silver. We're on board with D-Swish going around this really fast Silverstone circuit. It's one of my favorites. I mean, you know, some corners that used to be corners are not corners anymore. The drivers just literally hold their foot to the floor, or you know, hold their finger to the trigger. But as D-Swish is just finishing up his preliminary lap, and he sets a 25.2 for provisional pole, 1/100th in front of Rex, who is our championship leader, who is only 1/100th up off of Dorian Alpha. So we got the top three actually separated by just 200ths of a second on their first run, which is really quite impressive. And I guess the question we should be asking is that it is cloudy in qualifying, but is it going to rain towards the end of qualifying, or even rain during the race?
I am just thinking that it maybe isn't going to rain in quali, just because there hasn't been a mad rush from like everyone to get out of the pits straight away. Like we're already 6 minutes into this session, and so far just over half of the guys have set a time, and we've still got 4 drivers who are still in their pit box who haven't set a time. So I'm guessing that maybe it's going to stay dry for quali, but again, you know, maybe it'll rain right at the end, in which case the guys will expect to have their times nailed down already by that point.
Yeah, for sure. I would probably agree with that. I mean, I'm kind of hoping for rain in the race, to be honest, because we haven't had any rain pretty much in Silver, I don't think, this season. I missed last week for Singapore, but the week before that in Japan, it was still dry. I mean, China was dry, Bahrain was dry. So, kind of hoping for some rain, you know, throw it up in the air, give the drivers another type of challenge. But either way, I think we're in for a good race. It's a really good circuit, I think, for just battling, and you're able to run pretty close. You know, the dirty air in this game is worse than in previous Codemasters titles. So we'll just have to see how that works out. You know, we'll have some DRS trains and, you know, Truly trains and whatnot. But everybody pretty much hitting the pits after their first flying lap. A lot of people in the pits just putting on their next set of shoes to go and, you know, set their quali laps. But so far, D-Swish in P1, Pazosaurus Rex in P2, Dorian Alpha P3, and then Bamboo in P4. And he's only, 2/10ths down. So already we're seeing low 25s, mid 25s. I think we could actually see a mid to high 24. What do you think, Shaddy?
Yeah, certainly judging off those first runs we've seen, that would be, it's definitely possible, because of, you know, track evolution as the session goes on, as long as it doesn't rain, of course. This is already, well, I mean, the TCR lap record here is a 126.1, but I'm not sure if that's quali or in the race. If it's the quali time, then that's already smashed the record by nearly a second from D-Swish. So just shows you how much quicker the cars are this year, and especially at a high-speed track like Silverstone, where the downforce here is really what will get you the lap time. Because obviously, compared to F1 2019, the downforce in the game this year is pretty crazy, as Nip Steven has just gone quickest by a tenth with a 125.119. So yeah, I would definitely imagine we could be looking at a time in the 24s by the end of this quali session.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I missed Steven's lap, unfortunately. I was trying to find a driver to go on board with, and I think Rex is the next person up, so we're going to ride on board with Rex, who's actually our championship leader. He sits at the top of the standings for the Drivers' Championship on 71 points. And then he has quite a big gap, about a 16-point gap to F1 Racer, who's in P2, who didn't have the best of races, actually, the first 2 or 3 rounds. But he was our race winner last week in Singapore, where we had drivers hitting the wall and a lot of incidents, and Singapore taking its toll on the driver's field. But F1 Racer showing why he was last season's in Season 9 the Silver Class champion. So he's had kind of a rough start, but he's coming back strong and already taken P2 in that championship. Rex, though, is on his flying lap, and we're about to go just kind of take you through this lap here. Sector 1 looking pretty good and gets a really nice run out of left field. But then we have the very, very hard Cops Corner flat out. He actually did take a small lift. Okay, and then we come to the really famous Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel curve. Really good like direction change, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can potentially take that entire section, well, most of it flat out, and I'm not quite sure that he was doing that, but anyway,
I don't think so either.
We'll see how he does here with coming into the final few corners. That's Stowe at the end of the Hangar Straight, and then you have Vale and Club is the final section of the track here at Silverstone. And as he comes across the line, stays P3.
Yeah, I don't think he improved. His ERS also was on just medium. It wasn't on like a hot lap or overtake or anything like that. So I'm not sure if that was just a warm-up lap or if he messed that up or something or what.
Yeah, well, sometimes what can happen, because I found this a lot, when you leave the pits, it puts you in max fuel mixture and hot lap, even when you're on your out lap. So you often have to turn that down, at least for your out lap, so that you have a full bar of ERS to use when it actually comes to your lap, but maybe he forgot to turn it back on to hot lap.
Gotcha. And I want to kind of touch on the track limits a little bit. I went on board with Dorian Alpha, who finished in P5 last week and is actually sitting in P6, I believe, in the championship on 36 points. But the track limits that we are watching tonight is actually Stowe and Cops. And I did notice Dorian running quite wide on the exit of Stowe Corner. Unfortunately, did not lift and went pole. So that could be reported, that could be looked at by the stewards if that time holds. And even if it does hold, it's subject to being deleted and having a post-race penalty, just because he did improve his time and did run past those black and white curbs at Stowe. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, so I guess the question I'd ask from that is, what kind of penalty could a driver receive for doing that? Because obviously, the game isn't going to figure that out in time for the race. He's going to be able to use that time anyway. So
yeah, it's a good question.
What penalty could you get for that?
So if that happens in qualifying, the type of penalties you can get would be a post-race 3-place grid penalty, a 5-place grid penalty. You could even get disqualified if the lap was, if you're blatantly, cutting and extending without any lifts, and you did, and you're still not lifting and being respectful to that, then, those are the consequences. You could get disqualified, We did have an incident, I think the first round in Bahrain, where a driver did slightly extend, but the time that was improved upon didn't change the qualifying position. So that driver received a reprimand and a warning for that, just for future. But, in the case like Dorian improving his time, obviously he's not P1 anymore, he's P2, but he still improved his time quite a bit. That might be looked at, and I would say it's probably going to get looked at, just because that was a massive improvement on his time. So I guess keep your eyes peeled post-race for any type of, possible penalties that may be coming his way. Obviously we don't want that, and he's a really good driver and all that, but we got to watch it, and we could catch just at the wrong time. So you always have to just be kind of aware of what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I guess as well it will be interesting to see now in the race whether he continues to sort of exploit the track limits there. You know, if that's just kind of the way he usually takes that corner, which it shouldn't be, but, you know, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And Dorian, if you are listening to the stream, please don't do it in the race.
There you have it, folks. Yep, from Chatty Duck. Don't do it in the race. Yeah, so like we'll be watching, you know, Chatty, we'll be watching Stoke Corner and Cops turn 9 and turn 15, you know, just to kind of watch out for that. You know, obviously this track is, yeah, I mean, the whole track is very, very quick, right? You know, you're going to maybe extend just a little bit, you know, here and there, which is okay, you know, a once-off. Ooh, as we have Gen X kind of went off at Chapel on his way to the Hangar Straight. You know, like if you run, you know, slightly wide one corner just because you're fighting with somebody, that's okay. You know, it's not, as long as it's not a repeat offense or a blatant advantage. You know.
Yeah, and we have sorry to cut you off a little bit there, but we have a time in the 24s. Nip Steven goes pole with a 24.9. So there we go. 3 minutes left in the session, and we have our first time in sub 85 seconds there. A tenth and a half clear of D-Swish and Dorian in second and third.
Yeah, it's really close too. I mean, a 24.9 by Steven, a 25 dead by D-Swish. Only 200s down from that is Dorian Alpha in P3, and then barely less than a tenth after that in P4 is Bamboo. And then you have Rex in P5 with the 25.2. So I want to say the top 5, any one of those drivers could honestly win today if they play it right. And same TJ goes P6. What a lap from that guy. 25.4, so he should be really happy with that, really proud of that. You know, he's had some incidents every race. I'm hoping that he has a really good one today.
Oh, sorry, I was just watching Nip. He's not actually on a lap, but he lost it in the Maggots and Beckett's section there, so he's on the grass.
Yeah, Chapel.
I assume he wasn't on a second lap. He might have been. But yeah, I think the soft tyres just gave way on him there. I'm just wondering why Coleman is still in the pits. I'm guessing maybe he has a quali ban because he's not set a lap time.
I don't think he does, because I didn't issue any quali bans last week, or at least I don't think I did. So he should be okay. Sometimes it is better to start from the back, though. Rex, oh my god, look at Rex, a 24.869, and that is barely pipping Steven for that. So 400s, actually more like 300s and some change ahead of Steven. So I mean, from P1 down to P4, you're separated by just barely 3/10, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
Our
race.
Sorry,
7 guys within 7/10 of a second, which is pretty impressive. Hopefully, we'll see some more of these guys get down into the 25s and 24s, so that we'll have a really competitive grid for the race. We've got a minute left in this session. A few guys now on their outlaps or just on their final qualifying run at the moment. Coleman is still in the pits, so he's not going to have time to set a lap at all. He's going to be starting last. And let's just see.
I think you got a lot of drivers actually starting their final flyer. I'm on board with Kano, and Kano in P8 right now. He is a new driver joining us in silver, so we welcome Kano. He's going to be driving the Williams alongside Coleman, and he's just starting his last flying lap. He has a 25.889 right now, and we'll see if he can improve. His first sector actually looked really, really good. He's on his way now to Cop's corner, and he'll probably take that flat out if he can get a really good turn in. And he...
Oh, was he backed out?
Backs out of it, yeah, I think so. But he's still full throttle, so I'm not sure if he ran out of fuel. That was odd.
I mean, I've got his track map on, and it didn't, because if he invalidated, it would have gone red. But I guess with regular corner cutting on, it's not likely to... Well, it has now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a delayed reaction there. But top 2 guys are in the pits, so their qualifying session is over. I don't know if D-Swish got over the line in time to set a lap. He is still in P3. But we've got Dorian and Bamboo UK, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah,
Those 2 guys are on a lap.
Bamboo Keepley. Bamboo Kuplai. I don't know. We just call him Bamboo, and he's
Yeah.
good with that. But he is a very, very quick driver, so expect to see him going from like P5 up to P1, P2 during the race. He's put in some really strong, consistent performances every race so far. Except for his unfortunate DNF in Suzuka, which he ran into an AI car in turn 1, and that ended his race prematurely.
That's unfortunate, but he's crossed the line and stays 5th with a 25.092. He's still about 2/10 off. And Dorian stays 4th.
Dorian's done as well, yep. So we got D-Swish in the top 7 still to do his lap. Motor City completes his lap and goes up to P8 with a 25.7, so he'll be happy with that. He's actually one of our best starters on the grid. I mean, Japan, I don't know if you saw, he made up like 7 or 8 positions on the first lap. It was amazing.
Nice.
So he is extremely aggressive, and I love how he drives and how he's just super aggressive. So watch out for him to really make up a few positions here on the start. Let's see if we got anybody else. Fire Up Flow is in the wall right before Cops, and he has some oncoming cars. It looks like Dorian is done, D-Swish is done, Steven is done, Rex is our pole sitter, and we'll go
Lazo
forward
moves
with
up to P8.
P8. Nice.
He was in P12 before, so he's made up a few positions.
So you got both alphas actually on in the top 10. Blinn Machine though, he's the only driver left, and he's on his flyer. I think either that or he's on a end lap because his ERS is at 100, and he looks to be
I think
coming
he's
in the
calling
pits.
it a day there.
Yeah, he's done.
I'm loving the fact that they've finally updated the McLaren with the rainbow livery on the halo. That looks really nice.
Ah, yes.
I think that was the recent update that finally got included.
When was that update? Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was on Monday. Actually, I think it was just this week.
Isn't today
'Cause
Monday?
I had,
No, yesterday was Monday.
Yeah. Because I was racing on Monday, so I had to make sure that I had updated my game before joining the lobby and everything. So that's what I remember.
Gotcha.
Three guys within half a tenth in the top 3. That's very close. Azosaurus Rex, Nip Steven, and D-Swish.
Just posting the stream to the Discord. But if you're watching, if you're one of our viewers, thank you for tuning in to round 5, again, of TCR's Silver Class racing. We have 3 classes in TCR. We have the Silver Class, which races with ABS, medium traction control, and racing line on the corners. Tomorrow's race is the Golden Class, our second tier, and that class is just with the racing line. And then myself and Chatty Duck, we race in the Platinum Class, which is on Thursday. And that has no assists, no line, nothing. The drivers is completely on their own, just them in the car. And that's actually a 100% race on Thursday. But here we have the qualifying results for Silver Class, and look at those times of the top 3. That is amazing. But Rex in P1, Steven in P2, D-Swish P3, Dorian Alpha barely missing out on that top 3 in P4, Bamboo P5, got a new Weeb, same TJ, Lazo, Motor City, and Fire Up Flow rounding out the top 10. We'll catch everybody else on the formation lap. But man, if those times are super close at the top in quali, I can guarantee we're gonna have some DRS trains probably during the race if it doesn't rain.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering because pretty much everyone set their time on the softs. I wonder if that means we could be in for some rain in the race because no one. Well, as I say that, the screen loads up and it's clear blue skies. So ignore what I said.
Yeah, I need some sunglasses because my TV is like screaming at me. It's super bright, but you never know. It still could rain. It's F1 2020. It's Codemasters. Who knows what'll happen. So.
Very true. But yeah, I didn't notice anyone actually set a time on the mediums, and I think that the reason for that is because it's pretty much a guaranteed one stop around here. You can pretty much just go from softs to the hards and get them to the end of the race.
Soft to hards, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, thanks for the strategy for Thursday. Because I was gonna do I have no idea what I was gonna do. I need to put in some practice. But yeah, if you say a one-stop soft to hard strategy is the way to go, then I'm curious to see what people down in from like P11 to P19, I think, or P18 we have. Are they going to start on the medium tire, or are they going to start on like the hard tire? You know?
Yeah, well, it might even be possible to do a one stop starting on the mediums and going on the softs at the end. I'm not sure if that's
Ah,
possible or not, but I mean, it would certainly be favorable to do that because the hard tires are just, I mean, they're obviously very durable, but they're just a slow race tire. Um,
yeah.
I certainly don't like using them if I can avoid it.
Oh gosh, me too. Like that hard tire on this game is, I feel like just too hard. You know? I mean, sometimes it can be a good race tire and whatnot. The pit strategy, look at that. I think we are spot
Oh,
on
there you
for the
go.
most part. I find it kind of weird that the medium tire and the hard tire pit stop is like the exact same lap. That's kind of funny to me. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't imagine anyone will be using the hards if they can get away with it. If they don't wreck on lap one, then the mediums might be a bit of a gamble, but yeah,
yeah.
don't wreck on lap one then. So, we'll
There you
try
go.
not to. I know it's not always easy.
Yeah. So speaking about tires, we only have two drivers that are starting on something other than the soft tire, which is Gen X down in P13 starting on the medium tire, and Coleman, who is starting on the medium tire as well, who's starting in dead last in P19. So that'll be interesting to see what they do. But going down the grid again, we have Rex P1, Steven P2, D-Swish starting and then inside the top three, Dorian Alpha P4, Bamboo, who is sitting P3 in her championship. Starting down in P5, Got Any Weeb P6, same TJ P7, a really good quality from him. We got Lazo and Motor City driving for Alfa Romeo, starting P8 and P9 respectively. Fire Up Flow P10. Then we have our new driver, Kano, our other new driver in P12, ISRL Astunik, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I messed that
Yeah.
up. Gen X and P13, F1 Racer P14, Blend Machine. So your top two from last season and season 9, starting down the field in P15, P16. Juan, who we'll see on the grid, is P17, and Taffer P18, and Coleman bringing up the rear in P19. Now for the Drivers' Championship. So Rex is leading the championship with 71 points. You got F1 Racer climbing up to P2 with 55 points. Only 3 points behind him is Bamboo in P3 driving for Renault. Then P4 we have Lazo on 47, D-Swish on 39, Dorian Alpha on 36. Motor City, after a few good races, he's up in P7, I believe, with 25 points. Blend Machine, Shokadia, and then Got Niwi rounding off 8th, 9th, and 10th. So, as the
Right.
drivers make their way around, what is it? Club, right? Yeah, Club Corner.
Yeah, Club is the last corner at Silverstone. Uh, F1 Racer not in this race today, and Rex is on pole, so he's got a good chance here to extend his lead.
Here we go. I hear the lights, but I don't see any lights.
I've got lights, and they've gone out, but the drivers, yeah, we've got the glitch.
Okay, so they're about to go, hopefully. And away they
And
go. Rex gets really good start. And everybody's away cleanly. You have the two alphas going to the inside, and Rex is going to hold it around the outside. Steven almost gives
we've got
him
a
for
Mercedes.
turn 1. Dorian dives down the
there we-
inside of D-Swish down into turn 3, side by side the Renault and the McLaren. McLaren holds position there, and Dorian stays in P4. And there's a safety car,
DSC is
virtual safety
out.
car.
Both. Is
what
that
happened?
both Mercedes? Both. Well, one of the Mercedes is out, and Fire Flow is out, and Got Any Weeb has dropped to the back of the pack.
No.
Sorry for cutting you off there, but
No,
I
no,
was
absolutely.
just on board with someone, and I saw a Mercedes losing it through sort of in between Abbey and Farm, so between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they just collected each other after that, and wow, terrible start for the Mercedes.
Absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm looking at Laza, who dropped 8 positions, and then you look at Godiniweeb, who dropped down 12 positions, and then Fireflow, who is now DNF'd out of this race already before the first laps even got complete, and he was down 9. So clearly something happened, and obviously I was at the front, but Chad, you saw it in the back. I guess the two Mercedes lost control, or one of them maybe collided into the other one.
Yeah, I
turn
saw.
1, turn 2.
I think I saw Godney Weeb lose it And
I'm sorry to cut you off. We're actually back racing. I'm so sorry, and we're actually up into the club area, and there's just it's crazy. It's just so fast, and drivers are everywhere. They're really trying to make up all the positions. As a Mercedes, and that's Blin. Oh, and he makes contact with the Williams of Kano, and Blin just send it down the inside of Club, and that was not a great move by him. He made contact. He lifted though, but that's a shame for Kano, who hopefully does not have wing damage. On his first race, his debut here in Silver. But Blin Machine already up 6, and then TCR F1 Racer, they must have gotten a blitz of a start. I mean, they came from P14, P15, all the way up into the top 10 already. So both of them having a really, really good race.
Yep, and F1 Racer is actually in this Grand Prix. I just didn't recognize the name because it had TCR in front of it.
Yeah.
So he will be looking to get up to the front to be with the likes of Rex, who is his sort of closest rival in the championship at the moment in terms of going for the lead of the championship. But Stephen is ahead of Rex at the moment as they go through Cox Corner. So if Rex can stay close going through Maggots and Beckett's and then maybe put a move with the slipstream on Hanger Straight, although he's dropped back a little bit, so I'm not sure he's going to be close enough, although he's got the overtake engaged, and
he might make it.
Not really defending.
He's going down the inside. Oh, Steven holds it around the outside. They go side by side. Really, really well done for racing there, battling. Steven's going to send it down, but backs out of it at the last second. That's really, really good, clean racing from the pair of them. I'm quite impressed, and you know, Rex now has that position 1, but they got to watch out because D-Swish is right behind them, and D-Swish probably smelling P1 or P2 right now, just waiting for the opportune moment to make a pass on these guys.
Yep, and we've got Bamboo close up behind F1 Racer for P7 in the Renault. He dropped down 3 positions from the race start, so that'll be a bit disappointing for him. His teammate Dorian, he held position in 4th, so Bamboo will be looking to make some moves to get back up nearer the front as DRS is now activated on lap 3. F1 Racer locks up and goes a bit wide, and they're going side by side, and I think Bamboo has got the move done.
Oh, that was brilliant by Bamboo around the outside of left field. That was impressive, and yeah, that Renault just sticking it around the outside there. Motor City, I said he was going to make up some places, and look at that position change, up 4 positions into P5. So I don't know. I need him to kind of teach me how to make starts because I'm terrible at making starts in F1 races. I always lose positions, but you know, Motor has figured it out, and I'm sure the VSC has helped him as well. But so far, top 3. Oh wow, look at that run of Dorian.
Top 4, in fact.
Absolutely, yeah. Just about to say that Dorian is really trying to make his way through, and this is the point of the race where we might get some DRS trains. You know, people are going to be saving their ERS for maybe later in the race. The first lap or 2, you always want to use a lot of it just to keep up and maybe make a pass that you normally wouldn't be able to make later in the race. And then after that, it becomes like the fuel saving, the ERS saving, you know, in the mid part of the race. So expect to see maybe, you know, line the stern here for a few laps.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking at the moment, because Rex is just using up all of his ERS at the moment, he's down at 10 or 11%, and Steven behind him, very nearly making a move, but he's got about 80% ERS at the moment, and Swish and Dorian, same, you know, they're both around 80% for ERS, so they've got a chance to utilize overtake and make a move on Rex, who is at a bit of a weakness at the moment in that regard.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Rex's ERS. He's at like 8%. And then a yellow flag, and that's the Williams of... Oh, that's Kano, our new driver, making his debut. Just spun around at turn 1. What's turn 1 called? Abbey.
Turn 1 is Abbey, yeah.
Of course it is. Should have known that. So, yeah, lost a few positions there. He'll be looking... His tires are probably just overheated like crazy. So we need to cool them down, then, you know, keep going there.
Yeah, but we've got 5 drivers who have pitted already. I think Robin Hood just pitted on that last lap. He's gone onto the hards, so there you go. He's looking to get to the end of the race on that set, I'd imagine. Gotney Weeb is on the softs, so he will definitely have to pit again.
Yep, I would say so.
Everyone else down there who has pitted. They're on the hards or the mediums, so yeah, they'll definitely be hoping to get to the end of the race on those tyres.
So Steven was ahead, then Rex passed him. Now Steven's back ahead. So these drivers, and look at this, Rex has just gone past again. So these drivers are playing, oh, the side by side. And I thought they just made contact for a second, and they just survived. So, lucky boys. But now Rex has passed through, and I bet you on the next straight, on the hanger straight, Steven's going to go past again. So these guys are playing the strategy game. They're not trying to hold each other up. They're really not fighting that much. As the McLaren of D-Switch goes slightly wide there. But no advantage gain, so that is totally okay.
That looked like a big corner cut there from Nip Steven on the start of Maggots and Beckett's.
Maggots, yeah, that caught that on the stream. He's going to use his DRS. He does not have overtake turned on. He's going to make it round the outside. Yeah, that's pretty easy. So I feel like this is kind of like a learning experience for Golden tomorrow and Platinum on Thursday with, you know, you can stay in the DRS, and it's really hard to get out of that DRS, 1 second, train. If it was, you'd see these drivers, trying to spread out already, but they just can't. And so I think that's a combination of the dirty air, that really powerful overtake button, and, those soft tires can last, anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps before they start really, really falling off. So I think they're just trying to take advantage of this right now and get the position, and then hopefully try to pull out that gap,
Yeah, and I think Swish, well, it's very close again between Steven, Rex, and Swish. Rex was having a look up the inside there, but decided to back out of it. I think Silverstone is the second fastest track on the F1 calendar. I believe that is the case after Monza. And, Monza is an absolute slipstream fest.
Yeah.
And Silverstone, pretty much along the same sort of lines, really. You've got 2 or 3 pretty long straights here and 2 DRS zones, so yeah, if the drivers are smart, they can use that to their advantage and sort of use each other to kind of play leapfrog and, abuse that DRS advantage and pull away from the guys behind.
Look at Dorian. Dorian made a pass on D-Swish, and Paz, wrong way. There, he's about to go side by side with Steven. Yeah. Oh, he's going to hold it around the outside?
Oh. Little bit of contact, and Steven holds on.
He wanted to stick his nose in there, and he decided against it. He's got a really good run. Surely not turn 1, though.
Oh, this could be disastrous.
They survive for another corner. But then you have Dorian Alpha right behind, and Dorian makes contact, and Paz is around.
No. Yeah.
Paz saves it, though. He saves it, so he didn't actually turn all the way around, but that was Dorian that hit him, right?
Yeah, it was. And this has allowed Steven to get away a little bit. He's more than a second ahead, although it's now dropped to 9/10. So, Steven, this is your chance to get away from the guys behind you.
Oh, Paz trying to go around the outside of the McLaren of D-Swish. They're side by side. They're going to go into cops. Yeah, Motor, don't make it 3 wide. Don't make it 3 wide. He's going to look down the inside of the McLaren, and he thinks about it, but he doesn't actually do it. Oh, but McLaren runs wide, and Motor is up into P4. So that was very opportune. I can't say that word. Took the opportunity and went for it. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great stuff. I was watching from the broadcast camera then, and when you have 2 cars going side by side through cops, it just looks like there's going to be an absolutely horrendous crash, but thankfully there wasn't.
Bamboo looking towards the inside of D-Swish. Bamboo makes the position, so D-Swish has really fallen off, and it looks like he had some wing damage as well. Look at that. He has wing damage on the right side of his wing, and I wonder if he got that. Well, it was Dorian actually that hit him, right? It wasn't D-Swish.
Yeah, it was Dorian who hit Rex.
So I wonder where D-Swish got the wing damage.
Maybe when he was side by side with Motor, perhaps.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, and F1 Racer's out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, F1 Racer has retired from the race. He's come into the pits and retired.
Oh, wow. I wonder.
So I don't know what's gone on there. And he's left the session. Maybe he's had something.
Had to go, yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah. So that's going to give Rex the chance in the championship to extend his lead, because F1 Racer was his closest challenger coming into this race. Bamboo was next. He's on 52 points at the moment, 19 behind Rex, and he's in 5th at the moment.
So everything is kind of settled down, so we can actually, breathe and kind of take a look at what's been happening. I'm looking at the tire strategy, and it looks like one of the biggest winners out of the whole VSC and kind of just the reshuffling of the grid. It's probably got to be D-Swish. Even though he had that wing damage, he has put on the hard tires, and so he's good at the end of the race. He's going to have to put in some push laps to kind of make up that time loss, but I think he'll be okay. Bamboo actually pits right now as well, and I'm sure we're going to get a few others probably next lap on lap 10. But I'm curious to see what Bamboo's going to put on for tires.
Yeah, this is the start of the pit window for the soft tire runners, the guys who started on the soft, so expect a few pit stops in the next few laps. Those are mediums for Bamboo, so...
Do you think he can take those to the end?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw, I think, on the pit strategy graphic that it was possible to get the mediums to the end of the race from this point. So the only guys who have put on the hards, obviously, they put them on because they pitted quite early on in the race. So I would expect everyone in the top 7 right now to put the mediums on.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good idea. So who's your pick? I forgot to ask you about predictions. Who do you think is going to be today's winner? Who do you think has the best chance?
Well, I did have a thought earlier that Snip Steven might be able to pull a gap on the guys behind when there was that contact between Rex and Dorian, but Dorian's actually catching him. And Rex is not making too much of an impression in P3, so I would say it's probably going to be between Steven and Dorian looking at the way things are at the moment. Although, as you mentioned, D-Swish is looking in a reasonable position as well on his fresh hard tyres, although again, the hard tyres are not the optimal tyre to be on in terms of pace, so...
Right. So maybe Bamboo, but Bamboo's he's in traffic right now, just behind Taffer. He should get past Taffer pretty easily. Motor's in the pits. I want to see what tires Motor puts on. He puts on the medium tire. So it seems like the soft and medium tire strategy is actually the preferred strategy amongst the drivers tonight. I wonder if that's going to change for tomorrow's Golden Race or Platinum on Thursday.
Yeah, and Bamboo just overtook Taffer for 10th, and he's about 3 seconds behind Motor City at the moment. The other interesting thing at this point is about the undercut, because obviously those guys that have pitted already, what's their pace going to be like in comparison to the front runners who are on 9-lap-old softs now? So they're going to be feeling not so good, for the likes of Steven and Dorian and Rex.
I think if I was Steven and Dorian, if I was Rex, maybe not TJ, but those top 3 for sure. Good chance to kind of see what they're going to do.
Rex has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
No. Oh, and I was actually going to say Rex is my favorite to win the race today, but that 5 seconds, that's going to turn into like 10 or 12 seconds because this pit lane is so long, and you lose so much time because when you're out on track, it's so much faster. So he's going to have his work cut out to do as he takes his penalty now. But Dorian, medium tire, Steven, the medium tire, and look at Rex. He's just now coming out, and he's lost a ton of time to TJ, who is now right behind him. So are they going to come out behind Motor? Motor City is probably in a prime position right now.
Yeah, I think Motor's through. Motor's ahead of Rex. Bamboo is ahead of Rex, so...
But Motor is still behind Dorian and Steven, so he just kind of slotted himself between Dorian and Bamboo, the 2 Renaults.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, in terms of the front 2 positions, they haven't really changed, but Motor City and Bamboo have moved up. Rex has dropped back to pretty much 5th place now, I think. once the pit stops work themselves out. I think that's where he'll probably end up.
Wait, Rex or Bamboo?
Rex, sorry.
Rex, yeah, P5, I think. Because the front four still have to pit, and so Blend Machine and Astunik are still, they're going a long way on those red marked soft tires. Already 10 laps on those, and I'm not sure what the limit is on those tires, but I would have only put maybe 7 or 8 on them.
We've got Juan has been disqualified for driving the wrong way, so I don't know what that was about.
Okay.
But he's out of the race. Didn't catch that.
I'm not sure if we've ever had somebody disqualified for driving the wrong way. Actually, no, I think I disqualified myself during qualifying one time last season for like spinning around, and I wanted to go like the wrong way to get back in the pits, but I couldn't do that, and it actually disqualified me before I could do that. So
yeah, I can imagine that like if you were on a tight circuit like a Monaco or something where it's kind of hard if you get spun around to actually turn around, but Silverstone's a very wide track. Like,
oh my gosh, a big wreck between Haas, that's Rex and Coleman. Rex has massive wing damage, and Coleman was spun around, and I just went on board with Rex, and Rex has wing damage on the right-hand side, and that is, I mean, he already had that 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. This is just a bad race gone to worse, and I feel so bad for him. But I can assure you that's going to be reported by Rex, because that was not his fault, I think. It was already a yellow flag in Sector 1, I think, because of Coleman, and he might have, you know, tried to go the right way or something, you know, spin his car around and then keep going. He might have collected Rex in the process. So, yeah, Rex's day is not going to plan right now, and that is pretty unfortunate. I think he had a pretty good race ahead of him, too.
I can't tell. Did you say he has wing damage, Rex?
A lot of wing damage on the right-hand side. His right-hand end plate.
Oh, the wing plate.
The wing plate is gone. Oh, and the Renault Bamboo. Bamboo's on the grass.
Oh,
and he just hit the wall. What is happening?
Where is that? Oh, that's just just at the side of the Hangar Straight. So
yeah, that's Chapel.
And
right?
Rex has got another penalty for speeding into the pit lane, so Rex is really having trouble with the pit lane here at Silverstone.
Yeah, that pit limiter too.
I think this is probably the worst pit lane in Formula 1.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, it's got to be. Because the line is so far up, and you're going such a high speed that it's super easy to miss. I mean, like, we almost thought Hamilton got a, as Coleman retires in the pit lane, we almost thought Hamilton got a drive or a speeding penalty in Silverstone, right? Like one of either the first or the second round in Silverstone. So.
Yeah, well, it's just, like you said, I mean, the whole circuit is so high speed, and then all of a sudden you go into the pit lane at like 60 kilometers an hour. Like, it's insane, really. And it's such a long way. Like, I don't know, it just feels like you're in there for half the race when you make a pit stop.
Yeah, well, this has kind of thrown everything up in the air. I mean, if you look at the top 7 or so, Blinn just pit, and he's sitting in a nice, healthy P7, so he's on for a good result. And same TJ in the Ferrari, because Ferrari, only has 2 points to their constructors' title, and that's both to Turkey Whacker. So if same TJ can get some points today, he'll be in a really, really good mood. Just to get points for Ferrari up on the board. As the 2 McLarens, D-Swish is really on the back of Blinn Machine, trying to make that overtake. D-Swish is on 4-lap-old hard tires, Blinn Machine on new medium tires. So Blinn Machine should have the outright pace advantage, but it seems like it's D-Swish at the moment. And then you have Gen X kind of in the top 5, top 6, top 7, who has not pitted yet. So he'll be holding up Astunik, who is right... Well, not right behind him, but yeah, he is right behind him.
He's going to get this done here, surely. Yeah, pretty much a slam dunk move there for Astunik, who moves up into 4th place. I think Gen X was actually forming a bit of a train behind him there, because you've got, well, same TJ is about a second back, and then Blinn and D-Swish very close behind TJ and the Ferrari.
Yeah, this is a good battle. Pretty much a 5-way battle. But I want to see, because same TJ, he has some good pace, and he's shown the past few races that he's able to fight up there. he just has these unfortunate little incidents here and there that cause him to fall out of the points. But if he can keep his head on today, we only have about 12 laps to go, so this race has really flown by. As D-Swish is looking to make a move on Blin Machine, both have DRS. And Blin seems to hold the position.
D-Swish went very wide there at turn 15. Yeah, Stowe on the exit of Stowe. What we were talking about before, because obviously you have to keep at least one of your tyres on the black and white curbing, and it looked to me like D-Swish just completely extended that corner to get a good run on Blin there. So yeah.
Oh, and then there's the AlphaTauri of Gen X, who barely misses D-Swish. I think he just ran wide at turn 3.
Yeah, it looked that way. He's been on those mediums for 14 laps, so it's not, it's a comfortable sort of range for those tyres. They shouldn't be falling away too much at the moment, as Rex sets the fastest lap at 28.0 on fresh mediums, but he's down in 11th place, quite a long way from, close to Robin Hood, but quite a long way back from this battle anyway.
A battle I'm looking at right now is actually Steven and Dorian. It's only about 7/10 of a second, and these two have, let's just say it like this. These two have, I think, had their fair share of battling this season already, and I think 1 or 2 incidents or something, just maybe like a lag incident or something. So their battle now resumes at the Silverstone Grand Prix tonight, and I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top. Steven has had really good pace. Steven actually qualified pole position 2 weeks ago for Japan, then had a really unfortunate incident with, I think it was D-Swish actually, or Fire Up at the hairpin in Japan, and Steven's race was ended quite abruptly. And that was with all the restarts and stuff we had. But Steven doing a really good job of holding up Dorian. Dorian, I think, has better pace if he's staying in the DRS, but it's a good battle so far. Motor City down in P3. Really good showing from him. I mean, he'll be looking for a podium tonight. And
Blin and same TJ going side by side through Luffield.
Luffield, yeah.
And they're still side by side, coming up to the bit of contact as well.
Watch it, boys. Oh no. Side by side through Cops.
Cops.
Oh. They both held it. Nice.
Wide.
Slightly, I would say that's okay.
Job.
Yeah, good job, Blin. It's P6. Nice. But same TJ is going to get the DRS. Oh, same TJ loses it, and he's off.
Oh.
He got slightly on the grass there, or the curb, and he just lost the rear end.
I think that's what happened to Bamboo earlier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He had a similar sort of incident. Oh, don't go right across the track like that. I mean, he's got enough of a gap, actually. But anyway, he's back up and running. But he's fallen way down now on Blin.
Yeah, so Blin now has some breathing space. I'm also watching the battle between Robin Hood Lawyer, Kano, who's made a good recovery drive, and then Paz Rex. So they're all fighting for a P8, and they're all quite close, actually.
Yep, and Dorian is still slowly but surely reeling in Steven. That gap's just under half a second now, as they are coming up to Cops.
He might get a good enough run on the hanger straight to make a pass.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
He's got enough ERS to put it in overtake if he wants to, and Steven is pretty low on ERS, so this is an opportunity for Dorian, although that's a good exit out of there from Nip Steven.
If I'm Dorian, I'm going to go for it.
It looks like he is. He's gone up the inside.
God.
Wow.
That was, you could have put a piece of paper between those two wheels. That was way close, but that was some good racing right there.
That was really good defense around the outside from Steven, actually.
Absolutely.
Because I think he realized Dorian was there, and he took a wider line on the way in, which allowed him to make sure, well, A, make sure there was no contact, and B, make sure that he got a pretty good exit to hold on to the lead.
Oh yeah, let's see if he can get it this time around. So only about 8 laps to go. It's been a pretty fast race, pretty spread out race as well, just because of that beginning turn 1, turn 2 incident with the Mercedes. And then we had TCR F1 racer retire in the pit lane. He had to go, and hope everything is okay with him. Coleman also retired in the pit lane. Not sure what happened with Coleman. But Coleman was actually having a pretty good race.
He was, and Robin Hood has just overtaken Gen X for 9th place at the start of lap 18 for those guys. It's quite surprising because Gen X is on fresh softs, although Robin Hood's gone wide and allowed Gen X back through. I wonder if that was maybe a bit of a tactical decision from the AlphaTauri boys there.
Yeah, possibly.
To allow Gen X to get use of some clean air on his fresh softs and maybe move up towards the end of the race.
Yeah, because he's only 6.5 seconds behind Rex. So maybe AlphaTauri is thinking, okay, if Robin Hood can let Gen X go, he's on the soft tires, he can maybe, catch up to Rex and maybe pass him for P8 and try to maximize the team points for AlphaTauri. But Gen X is actually losing time to Rex, and Gen X is on the softer tire, so maybe that plan is going to backfire just a little bit.
Yeah, well, we've seen that Rex is... he's had a few unfortunate moments in this race which have dropped him down, but his pace is right up there with the top guys, so even on the quicker tyre for Gen X, he's not looking like he's going to be able to close that gap, which is about 7.5 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like a tall order. So it's a
Dorian
shame about
Steven.
Dorian and Steven. Oh yeah, that's right.
Sorry, they're just still quite close.
But it looks like Dorian's closer. Oh, Steven got on the grass, and he's got to be really careful. That's going to really hurt his exit speed, and Dorian's got a great run. Here, Steven defends the outside. That's an interesting defensive maneuver. Can he hold it around the outside, though? Gets pushed off slightly.
Still side by side.
Dorian round the outside, and that was really good by Dorian. Makes it stick. So now he's going to have to really play the defensive game, and I hope he has enough ERS saved up. He does. And really defend against Steven on the Wellington straight. So he's really going to have to hammer it out of turn 3, turn 4. Steven's right on his rear, though. And Dorian takes too much of that curve there, so he's not going to get the prime exit here. Steven takes a very late apex, very wide corner, and he's right on Dorian's gearbox. So this should be easy pickings for Steven. He's almost already alongside him and already passed him and just opened up DRS. So that is move done for Steven, and Dorian's back in the same place that he's been most of this race. And I bet I can feel the frustration from Dorian's cockpit. Reminds me of myself trying to chase down, who was it? Tasmanian Devil or whoever was last, or 2 Thursdays ago at Japan. So Dorian maybe running high downforce, Steven maybe a bit lower downforce. And if Steven can just get, good exit out of certain corners, Dorian has no chance to pass. So that's probably Steven's tactic. But good racing by these two. It's nice to see good, clean, fair battling. Yes, we've seen a few extensions here and there, but it hasn't changed the racing and hasn't given one driver a lasting advantage. And that's really what we're looking for here.
Yep, I've just been kicked out of the lobby, so I can't see anything. I'll try and get back in.
Okay.
But I'll leave the commentary up to you for a little bit.
Alright, not a problem. Let me see if I can invite you back here quickly. Invite friends. I might have to do it in a second. I don't have you added as a friend. Okay, give me a second, Chatty. I'll see if I can get you back in here shortly.
Okay, cool.
And Dorian's actually pulling, just to keep you in the loop, Dorian's actually pulling a gap, but Steven's top line speed, he was on the Wellington straight and really caught up to Dorian, but Dorian hung around the outside and actually keeps P1. And this battle is really, really good, so I don't want to take too much time away from it.
No, that's fine.
Sorry, at the moment, this battle is really good. I don't want to take this away from the viewers. So, but Steven's right on Dorian's gearbox, and they're about to enter Maggots, Beckets, and Chapel. Please not too wide. If they go too wide and keep it clean, that'll be amazing, but they don't. Steven actually tucks in behind. And I know he is running low downforce because he cannot stay behind Dorian in those S's, like the Maggots, Beckets, and Chapel. But his top speed with his overtake, and he's about to overtake Dorian again down the inside at the end of the hangar straight. And Dorian's on the inside for Club. You can tell by my voice, Chatty, that was almost contact, and both of them were almost around, but they did not. It was like a Max Verstappen, Leclerc moment down into Vale and into Club. You know, when Leclerc, like, you know, shoots it down the inside and, you know, pushes Verstappen off the track. It was almost that kind of situation. So this is just fantastic to watch here.
Yeah.
Chatty, if you can, maybe go to the Discord and pull up the stream.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I've got it on at the moment.
So you're going to be a few seconds behind, I think.
Yeah, they're just coming up to the Wellington straight on my screen.
Oh, Steven sends it down the inside, and that's a massive corner cut, but does not gain an advantage there, so that is obviously not ideal, but that's okay. If he does that too many times, though, that will be reported. This is a really good battle, and I mean, you can look at Steven. Steven's just gaining even without ERS, and he has his great top line speed. He's probably putting it down into lean right there.
Yeah, this is going to be really frustrating for Dorian because he's kind of there's not a huge amount he can do. Like, you can obviously do your best to be quick in the corners, but you're never too far away from a straight at Silverstone, and especially a DRS straight.
Watch this. Watch this. This is so much top speed. Oh, and did he hit? Did he hit Dorian's round?
Oh,
get it going. To me, that looked like netcode. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Is Steven waiting? Steven's waiting. Yeah, I think he realized he hit Dorian.
Well, if he's waiting, does that mean that Motor City will take the lead?
That's just gifted Motor City first place, and there's 3 laps to go. Dorian must be fuming. I mean, this is like, I think, the 4th or 5th race. We're only on round 5. I think this is the 4th or 5th race that Dorian and Steven have come together yet again. And I want to say it's not intentional by Steven or Dorian. I think that was just hard, close battling. And unfortunately, they made contact. And this is gifted Motor City 2000 the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been clean up to, they had been clean up to that point, and you know, I was watching it on the stream, and it kind of looked like, you know, just a bit of a side pod to side pod contact, which unfortunately can send one of the cars spinning round on this game. That's something that Codemasters have never really fixed. But I mean, credit to Steven actually for giving up the place, because I mean, obviously he probably knew that he would get a penalty if he didn't do that, but he was leading the race, and the temptation must have been there to just stay in the lead. But
absolutely,
he gave that up, so fair play to him.
Fair play, absolutely. So now the battle for the podium. I mean, you have Dorian Alpha, you have Steven, you have D-Swish, you have our debut driver driving for Red Bull today, Astunik. So you could see we have a double Red Bull in the top 5, and this has really brought the top 5 together. Blend Machine, unfortunately, 20 seconds down in P6, but anyone in the top 5 can get a podium now. So the pressure is on. Obviously, D-Swish is a little bit farther behind, you know, from that podium than compared to Astunik. So D-Swish is really going to have to watch his rear. But I want to say, and I don't want to commentate curse Motor City, but Motor City is looking very, very nice right now. And I bet you his grin is probably pretty big, because I don't think he's won a TCR race. And if he has, I don't know about it. Motor City raced in Season 8, and the last few races, or a couple races in Season 9, silver last season. So it could be his first TCR win. Dorian Alpha, he did pretty well last season, Season 9,
gap staying around 4.5 seconds. But for Motor City, he's got basically 2 laps to go now to concentrate. Don't let yourself smile too much just yet. You've got to get it around these final 2 laps, and maybe Dorian is closing in slightly, but that's a lot of time to make up in 2 laps, especially with Steven, Swish, and Astonik not too far behind as well. So yeah, that top 5 battle has really come alive in these last few laps.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was all because of Steven and Dorian Alpha making that contact with their... It was just a side pod glitch or actual contact, but again, fair play to Steven for giving up that position. Yeah, so that's, you know, if that's reported, that'll be taken into account as well. Bamboo, we haven't talked about him in a while, and remember, he spun at Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel, as Taffer is now around as well. But he's brought himself back up to P11. I don't think he'll be able to get points today, unfortunately. So a race to forget for him. Robin Hood Lawyer, P12, Taffer, P13, Lazo, P14, and Kano, P15. So I don't know what happened to Kano. I think he may have spun or something. And then we have 4 drivers that are currently not going to be able to finish the race.
Yeah, I wonder if those guys right down the bottom who are now on like 3 or 4 left old soft tires, whether they were on the hards and thought they could get them to the end, and maybe they haven't managed to do that, or maybe they just got fed up of the hards and wanted to go for the fastest lap.
There you go.
Yeah.
Possibly. So I think it's going to be pretty set the way they are. Top 5, unless we get, I don't know, like a magical puncture or something, you know, last lap, and they have to go 3/4 of the lap with a puncture on 3 wheels, you know. But
yeah.
Oh, by the way, last lap of the race, which means that we have to thank our affiliate sponsor. So, Fanatec, thank you for being TCR's affiliate sponsor. Many of our drivers, if you're watching, drive with Fanatec gear, about 70% of them. Myself, I have Fanatec, you know, the wheel, the base, the pedals. I know a lot of drivers do, as we've mentioned. So it makes a difference, and we really enjoy having Fanatec. So if you're watching or watch back later and you are looking to upgrade, we have a description or a link in the description below, and that'll help support our league and our channel, our Discord, and can do some better things in the future. But we're on the last lap. It's flown by, actually. This track is very fast, but we have Motor City on the Hangar Straight, just about to complete the final 4 corners. And he's taking it very safe, not even driving on the curbs, and has 0% of his overtake left. And he better not spin around this corner here, so be careful. That'd be a shame. And Motor City crosses the line in P1, and he's happy, I can tell. Oh wait, what? Dorian. Oh my god. I spoke too soon. Dorian Alpha wins the race through penalties, and I don't know where that came from. Did Motor get a penalty?
I guess so. I don't think we caught it.
I don't think so either.
Maybe it was maybe speeding in the pit lane is the one thing I can think of, because if you don't make a pit stop once you get the penalty, they just add the time to the end of the race. So
that is true. Well, okay, so Dorian P1 after some contact with Steven, but finishes the race in prime position. So Dorian P1, you got Steven P2, Motor City dropping down to P3. So I have to figure out what happened with him after the race, or later tonight. D-Swish putting in a really solid performance. He actually did climb his way back up after getting that... Didn't he get a speeding penalty as well?
Who was that? Sorry, I was looking at I was looking to invite drivers to the party. Was that
D-Swish?
I think so.
Or no, he had wing damage. He needed pit for the hards early on, so good comeback drive for him. We have our debut driver, Astunik, finishing P5, Blood Machine P6, Rex in P7, same TJ, getting more points for Ferrari on the board, finishing P8, got Nui P9, and somebody finishing in P10. Was not able to catch that at the end. Oh, good for Blend Machine, driver of the day. Yeah, because he started down in I think P15, P16, climbed his way up to the points, and got a handful of points to add to his tally in the Drivers' Championship. Also helps out his teammate D-Swish for the Constructors.
Nice. I'm just waiting on the stream again to see the results, so I know the exact the name tag for people to invite to the party for interviews.
It was Steven, Dorian, and Motor City.
Yeah, I've done Dorian, but Steven's got like a 3 in his name somewhere.
Yeah, it's capital S, capital T, and then the 3, and then lowercase v, and then a capital N.
Oh, I've got him. Yeah. I think Dorian's already joined us, so that's good, and I'll invite Motor City as well. So then we'll have our top 3 drivers.
Yeah, so Motor got a speeding penalty. That's what he just said in the Discord. Look at Bamboo with the fastest lap of 27.8. Good for him. And also Rex got that 5-second penalty as well. So.
Right. So invites are sent. We've got Dorian in here so far. Just waiting on Stephen and Motor City to join us.
Gotcha.
To round out our podium drivers from today's race. Skywalker, have you got questions for Dorian, or shall I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me pull up something else here, and then I'll ask a second question.
Okay, so Dorian, congratulations on the win tonight in Silver Tier. Bit of an eventful race for you, especially towards the end, that contact with Stephen. How did you see it?
I was just like, I think it was just hard fighting, to be honest. It's nothing too serious. I left him room and he left me enough room. I think that was just a racing incident, so just gonna move on.
Well, that's a very mature approach to take for that, so I congratulate you for that. And for the rest of the race, like how did the strategy play out for you?
It was pretty normal. I was following. I didn't have a hard time following the guys in front. I know I made contact with D and then also with Zoras, so I gotta apologize for that. I had to slow down there, otherwise I would have hit the guys in front of me. So, but apart from that, um, just following the strategy, going from the red to the yellow marked tires, and just then I had to apply the pressure on Steven. I was saving my ear eyes, my ear eyes, for later in the race because I didn't want to use a lot of it and then not have any in the end. So I guess that worked in some way.
Yeah, for sure, and well done on getting the win.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very, very well done. Dorian, a good start and a really good race with Steven. It was really cool and really good watching you guys battle. And then from the stream's point of view, I think it was maybe like a side pod glitch or something. You know how Codemasters has the glitches with, no contact, but you still get spun around. Or there was maybe some slight contact, but definitely like just a kind of a racing incident kind of thing. And it was really nice to see you guys, being respectful to each other. Steven slowing up for you to catch. Unfortunately, both of you guys losing the position to Motor City, but at the end of the day, you got it back and you ended up winning the race. So I think that was just really good sportsmanship from both of you guys, or all three of you guys, and provided a really good battle for us to watch. So how do you think you're going to get on at next week's race?
That's actually a track I really like. So gotta put into work this week. Work on it, do some laps, and hopefully we're able to bring some points because we're really trying to go for that constructors.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say Renault is looking very, very strong in the constructors. So again, good job to to you, Dorian, and we will talk to you later. Have a great night.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Cheers, Dorian.
See you later.
Nip Steven is not here. I've tried to invite him a couple of times.
Okay.
So, Motor City, well done on making it onto the podium tonight. You must have been, well, I guess the first thing really is, what was your time penalty for at the end?
I sped in the pit lane by 5 miles an hour. Or 6.
That's a shame.
I didn't really think it would come back to bite me that hard because I was watching the Delta the whole time with the guys behind me, and I was trying to, it was like 9 seconds, or it was around 9 seconds. I was trying to keep it at that, and then whatever happened in front of me happened, and I was like, oh crap, these guys are like 4.6 seconds behind me, and then it ended up finishing the race like 3.9, so I'm actually really happy with my performance. I would have been nice to get my first win, but it's my first podium in a really, really, really long time in TCR, so yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good drive from you, Motor, and I was even saying during quali, I was saying to Chatty Duck, I'm like, all right, watch this guy. His starts on lap 1, he makes up the most positions out of anybody, because we saw that 2 weeks ago in Japan when you made up like 9 positions or God knows what.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really good at starts, and what sucks is my teammate Lazo got involved in a first lap incident. So shout out to Lazo, though. I mean, he's gotten podiums the last 2 races, so I think he and I can make a run for constructors if we stay consistent. So
absolutely. I mean, you guys. I mean, Lazo's doing really good in the points, and you're getting yourself up there too. So as a team, I think it's a very strong team, and it's a big shame about the win today, or the lack of the win, because I was like, oh, Motor's gonna win, I don't think he's ever won before, and
I
whatever.
watched the stream back. I was like, damn it, man. Sorry for my language, but
no, it's fine. It was like, oh, you're so close, and it was like, of all the things that could have happened, it was like, oh, and the Renault and the Red Bull collided, and Motor's in P1, and I was like, and he's coming around the last corner. Motor City's gonna win, and wait, what? And I was like, wait, what? Oh, Dorian won.
Yeah.
Well, Motor, I mean, you did a really good job of just keeping out of trouble in the race, because there was obviously the incident with Steven and Dorian, and then before that, like, you had Rex up at the front as well, and Bamboo, and they had issues. So I mean, it just shows that sometimes just to keep your nose clean and get to the end of the race is a good tactic.
That's always my goal, and I am actually not very good at Britain, and my goal coming into the race was just to get points. I wasn't even expecting to get a top 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
So
congrats.
I'm very happy with my finish. It sucks that I couldn't win, but I think I'll eventually get my first win. I think I need to have a chat with Seafreeze about, making fun of me for last week and, finishing first and then, almost winning this race.
Almost winning, exactly,
yeah. So I need to have a chat with him. So.
Well, Seafreeze, if you're listening, expect Motor to, come at you, so. So how do you think you're going to get on at Spa next week? It's Spa next week, I believe, so.
That's an interesting track. I mean, you never know who can be fast. I feel like that's almost like the Daytona of F1. You never know who can be fast or slow there. It's kind of one of those tracks that you have to be fast at, but you also have to be careful and watch the curb. So I think I can get a top 7 or top 6 maybe. That's usually my goal. I mean, I finished 6th every other time this season, so I mean.
Let me look at your results. Yeah, you have a 6th place, 11th, and then you have a 6th and 6th. You have 3 6th place finishes. I mean, don't put those numbers together. You know what that is. But how do you think? Okay, so you're gonna go high downforce or low downforce for next week?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. I mean, you got to be good in the corners. You got to be good on the straights. I'll probably go higher downforce, honestly.
Well, think of it this way: Ferrari from last year, no downforce pretty much, and high top speed. Ferrari this year, all the downforce and all the drag. So, I guess pick your fancy. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's all that we have for tonight. But Motor, congrats on podium, first podium in a while, right?
Yeah, it's a while, since like season 5 or something, or 4. So
nice. Well,
Great job.
congrats, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Thank you.
you next week. Have a great night.
Thank you. You guys too.
Thanks.
Cheers.
All right, so that was a good race. Had lots of events happen. We had that turn one incident between the two Mercedes. You know, go figure, it's the two Mercedes. It's a shame we saw that, and we had the VSC come out on lap one. We had a really, really good battle throughout with Steven and Dorian Alpha, which we kind of got robbed of. They had a little bit of contact with a few laps to go, and Motor City took the lead, but ended up not winning because of a pit lane speeding penalty. So, but it was a really good race nonetheless. We have Spa next week, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For the rest of this week, though, tune in back tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Eastern for our Golden class. And then again on Thursday, same time for our Platinum class. And Platinum class is going to be 100% race distance this Thursday. It's one of 3 special events for our top-tiered class here in TCR. So be sure to tune in for that. If the drivers can make it 50% of the way, they can make it 100% of the way. So sure to be a really exciting race. And who knows, the weather may play a part tomorrow or on Thursday. And I'm kind of looking forward to Thursday if it's going to rain or have any sort of variable weather. It's going to really throw a wrench and all that. So if you're a viewer tonight, thank you so much for watching. And we will see you tomorrow, Thursday, and next week. I've been 007 Professional, and he's been Chatty Duck. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye.